I never thought I'd be sharing a story like this, but here I am. My name is Andrew, 28M, and I recently discovered that my fiancé, Sarah, 27F, has been having an affair with my best friend, Mike, 29M. We were supposed to get married next month, but now everything has fallen apart. Sarah and I met during our sophomore year of college. We were both taking a literature class, and I remember being captivated by her intelligence and passion during discussions. One day, we got paired up for a group project, and that's when I really got to know her. We spent hours in the library, working on our assignment, but also talking about our lives, dreams, and favorite books. I learned that Sarah came from a small town in the Midwest. She was the first in her family to go to college and had big dreams of becoming a journalist. I admired her drive and determination. As for me, I shared my passion for technology and my goal of working in the tech industry. After a few weeks of working together, I finally gathered the courage to ask her out. We went to a small coffee shop near campus, and I still remember how nervous I was. But as soon as we started talking, all the nerves melted away. We connected on so many levels: our love for travel, our similar sense of humor, and our shared values. From that first date, we were inseparable. We studied together, explored the city, and supported each other through the stresses of college life. When we graduated, we decided to move to the city together to pursue our careers. I landed a job at a promising tech startup, while Sarah secured an entry-level position at a local newspaper. The transition to city life wasn't easy. We were both working long hours, trying to prove ourselves in our new jobs. Money was tight, and we lived in a tiny studio apartment. But we faced these challenges together, and it only made our relationship stronger. Mike has been my best friend since high school. We met on the first day of freshman year when we were assigned as lab partners in biology class. We bonded over our shared love of basketball and video games. Throughout high school, we were inseparable. We played on the same basketball team, stayed up late playing video games, and helped each other through the ups and downs of teenage life. When it came time for college, Mike and I ended up at different schools. I went to State University, while Mike got a scholarship to play basketball at a smaller college. Despite the distance, we remained close, calling each other regularly and meeting up during breaks. After college, Mike moved to the city a year before Sarah and I did. When we arrived, he helped us settle in, showing us around and introducing us to his friends. The three of us started hanging out regularly. We'd have movie nights, try new restaurants, and go on weekend trips together. I was thrilled that my best friend and my girlfriend got along so well. Last year, on our 5th anniversary, I decided to propose to Sarah. I planned a surprise weekend getaway to the beach where we had our first vacation together. I proposed at sunset, and when Sarah said yes, I felt like the luckiest man alive. We called our families and friends to share the news, and everyone was thrilled for us. We dove into wedding planning with enthusiasm. We found a beautiful venue, a rustic barn on the outskirts of the city that could accommodate our 150 guests. Sarah and I spent weekends tasting cakes, choosing flowers, and crafting our perfect playlist. Mike was going to be my best man, and he threw himself into planning an epic bachelor party. About 2 months ago, I started noticing some changes in Sarah's behavior. She was always on her phone, smiling at texts, and being secretive. When I asked her about it, she brushed it off, saying it was work-related. I trusted her completely, so I didn't push the issue. Looking back, I feel foolish for not seeing the signs. Last week, I came home early from work, hoping to surprise Sarah with dinner. As I walked into our apartment, I heard voices coming from our bedroom. I quietly approached and pushed the door open. There, I saw Sarah and Mike in bed together. They didn't notice me at first, but when they did, the room fell silent. I felt like the world had stopped spinning. My fiancé and my best friend, the two people I trusted most in the world, had betrayed me in the worst possible way. I couldn't speak, couldn't move. I just turned around and walked out of the apartment. For the next few days, I stayed at a hotel. Sarah kept calling and texting, begging me to talk to her. Mike did the same. I ignored them both. I needed time to process what had happened and figure out what to do next. Yesterday, I finally agreed to meet Sarah at a neutral location, a coffee shop near our apartment. She arrived looking disheveled and upset. As soon as she sat down, she started crying and apologizing profusely. She told me that the affair had been going on for 3 months and that she felt terrible about it. According to Sarah, it started innocently. She and Mike had been working late on a project together. Mike had recently started working at the same newspaper as Sarah, and one night, they ended up kissing. Things escalated from there. She swore that she still loved me and that the affair was a huge mistake. I listened to her explanation, but I felt nothing but anger and betrayal. I told her that our relationship was over and that I wanted her out of our apartment by the end of the week. She begged me to reconsider, saying we could work through this, but I stood firm. I couldn't imagine ever trusting her again. After leaving the coffee shop, I called our wedding venue and canceled everything. It was painful, but I knew it had to be done. I also reached out to our friends and family to let them know the wedding was off. I didn't go into details, but word spread quickly. Now, I'm left picking up the pieces of my life. I've lost my fiancé and my best friend in one fell swoop. Our friends are divided, with some taking sides and others trying to stay neutral. I'm dreading going back to work and facing everyone's questions and pitying looks. I know I made the right decision in ending things with Sarah, but it doesn't make the pain any easier to bear. I'm not sure how to move forward from here. The future I had planned is gone, and I feel lost. Has anyone else been through something similar? How did you cope? Any advice on how to rebuild my life after such a betrayal would be appreciated. Update 1. It's been about a month since my last post, and a lot has happened. I want to thank everyone for their support and advice. It really helped me get through some tough days. After Sarah moved out of our apartment, I decided to take some time off work and visit my parents. Being in my childhood home, surrounded by people who love me unconditionally, gave me the space I needed to start healing. My mom, always the nurturer, made sure I was eating well and getting enough rest. My dad, usually a man of few words, surprised me with his emotional support. We spent evenings talking on the porch, reminiscing about happier times and discussing my future. While I was there, I received a surprising call from Mike's girlfriend, Lisa, 28F. I hadn't even known Mike was in a relationship, which shows how much he had been hiding. Lisa told me she had found out about the affair around the same time I did, and she wanted to meet up to talk. We met at a local park near my parents' house. Lisa looked as broken as I felt. She shared her side of the story, and I was shocked by the extent of Mike's deception. Apparently, Mike had been lying to both of us for months. He told Lisa he was working late when he was actually with Sarah, and he told Sarah he had broken up with Lisa when they were still very much together. Lisa and I spent hours talking, sharing our pain and anger. It was cathartic to speak with someone who understood exactly what I was going through. We've since become friends, supporting each other through this difficult time. We text regularly, checking in on each other and offering words of encouragement. When I returned to the city, I found out that Sarah and Mike had both quit their jobs at the newspaper. Rumor has it that their affair had become common knowledge at work, and they left to avoid the scandal. I'm not sure where they are now, and honestly, I don't care. Going back to work was challenging. My colleagues were supportive, but I could feel their pitying looks and hushed conversations when they thought I wasn't paying attention. My boss, understanding the situation, allowed me to work from home a few days a week, which helped ease the transition. I've started seeing a counselor to help me work through my trust issues. It's been helpful to have a neutral party to talk to, someone who can give me strategies for dealing with my anger and hurt. We've been exploring the roots of my trust issues, going back to my parents' divorce when I was a teenager. I never realized how much that experience had affected my ability to trust until now. One positive thing that's come out of this mess is that I've reconnected with old friends. When the news of what happened spread, several people I had lost touch with reached out to offer their support. My college roommate, Jake, who now lives across the country, has been calling me regularly. We've been reminiscing about our college days and planning a reunion trip for next year. I've also thrown myself into my work and picked up a new hobby, rock climbing. The physical challenge helps clear my mind, and I've met some great people at the climbing gym. There's something therapeutic about focusing all my energy on solving a climbing problem, leaving no room for negative thoughts. There are still days when the pain feels overwhelming. Sometimes I'll catch a whiff of Sarah's perfume on an old sweater, or I'll come across a photo of Mike and me from happier times. These moments hit me hard, but they're becoming less frequent. I'm slowly learning to trust again, starting with trusting myself and my judgment. I'm working on forgiving myself for not seeing the signs earlier and for being so blindly trusting. It's a process, but I'm making progress. I'm not ready to date yet, but I'm no longer feeling hopeless about my future. I know it will take time, but I'm confident that I'll be able to open my heart again someday. For now, I'm focusing on healing and rebuilding my life on my own terms. Thank you all again for your support. It means more than you know. I'll keep you updated on my journey. Update 2. It's been 6 months since my world turned upside down, and I wanted to give you all another update. Life has a funny way of surprising you when you least expect it. About 2 months ago, I ran into Sarah at a local grocery store. It was awkward, to say the least. She looked terrible, tired and stressed. After some hesitation, we decided to grab a coffee and talk. We went to a small cafe nearby, one we had never been to together during our relationship. Sarah told me that her relationship with Mike had imploded spectacularly. Apparently, they had moved in together after leaving their jobs, thinking they could start a new life. But without the excitement of sneaking around, they quickly realized they had nothing in common. They fought constantly about everything from household chores to future plans. To make matters worse, Sarah found out she was pregnant. When she told Mike, he panicked and left her. She's now living with her parents, trying to figure out her next steps. Sarah's parents, who had always been kind to me, were understandably disappointed in their daughter's choices but were supporting her through this difficult time. I listened to her story with a mix of emotions. Part of me felt a twisted sense of satisfaction that their relationship had failed so miserably. But another part of me felt sorry for Sarah. She had made terrible choices, but she was clearly suffering the consequences. After our talk, I walked away feeling lighter. Seeing Sarah and hearing about the mess she'd made of her life gave me closure in a way I hadn't expected. I realized I was truly over her and ready to move on. In other news, Lisa and I have grown closer over the past few months. What started as a friendship born out of shared pain has evolved into something more. We've been dating for about a month now, taking things slow and being very open with each other about our fears and insecurities. It's scary to open my heart again, but Lisa understands my hesitation. We're both working on rebuilding our ability to trust, and it's nice to have someone who gets it. We've established clear boundaries and communication rules, determined not to repeat past mistakes. Work has been going well. I got a promotion last month, which has been a welcome distraction. My new role involves more responsibility and creative input, which I'm enjoying. It's nice to feel valued and successful in my professional life, especially after the turmoil in my personal life. I'm also still climbing and have even started competing in local tournaments. The climbing community has become like a second family to me. We push each other to improve, celebrate each other's successes, and support each other through the tough times. I've learned a lot about myself through this experience. I'm stronger than I ever knew, and I'm proud of how I've handled this situation. I'm looking forward to the future with cautious optimism. Update 3, it's been a year since my original post, and what a year it's been. I want to thank this community once again for all the support you've given me throughout this journey. Lisa and I are still together and going strong. We moved in together last month, which was a big step for both of us. We found a cozy apartment in a new neighborhood, giving us a fresh start away from the memories of our past relationships. We've had our ups and downs, but our shared experience has made our relationship stronger. We communicate openly and honestly, never taking each other for granted. I ran into Mike a few weeks ago at a coffee shop. He tried to apologize, but I told him I wasn't interested in hearing it. I've forgiven him in the sense that I no longer carry anger towards him, but I made it clear that we would never be friends again. It was a brief encounter, but it felt good to stand my ground. Seeing him reminded me of how far I've come in my healing process. Sarah gave birth to her baby girl 3 months ago. She reached out to let me know, not asking for anything, just sharing the information. I wished her well but maintained my distance. I heard through mutual friends that she's struggling as a single mom but is determined to make it work. Her parents are helping her, and she's slowly rebuilding her life and career. As for me, I'm in a good place. My job is challenging and rewarding, and I've made some great friends through climbing. Lisa and I are talking about taking a trip to Europe next year, something I've always wanted to do. We're excited about planning this adventure together, creating new memories and experiences. My relationship with my family has grown stronger through this ordeal. I visit my parents more often now, appreciating their love and support in a way I hadn't before. My sister, who lives abroad, has been a constant source of support through video calls and messages. Looking back, I can hardly believe how much has changed in a year. The pain of betrayal has faded, replaced by gratitude for the life I have now. I've learned valuable lessons about trust, self-worth, and resilience. While I wouldn't wish this experience on anyone, I can acknowledge that it has shaped me into a stronger, more self-aware person. To anyone going through a similar situation, know that it does get better. It takes time and effort, but you can come out stronger on the other side. Trust yourself, surround yourself with good people, and don't be afraid to start over. Thank you all for being part of my journey. Your support has meant the world to me. I may not post updates as frequently now, but I'll always be grateful for this community and the role you played in my healing process.